99% of Bible scholars fail this ultimate Deuteronomy test. Where did Moses deliver his final speeches to the Israelites? The name Deuteronomy comes from a Greek word meaning what? What is the famous prayer in Deuteronomy 6 that begins, "Hear, O Israel," commonly called? What were the Israelites commanded to do with the altars and sacred stones of the Canaanites? How often did the law require the Israelites to cancel debts owed by fellow Israelites? According to the dietary laws in Deuteronomy, which land animals were considered clean to eat? Who was officially commissioned as Moses' successor in the Book of Deuteronomy? From which mountain did God tell Moses to view the promised land before his death? How old was Moses when he died? Where is the exact burial place of Moses located? What was the legal consequence for a stubbornly rebellious son who would not obey his parents? According to the laws concerning a king, what must the king not multiply for himself? How many witnesses were required to convict someone of a crime or sin? What was the purpose of establishing cities of refuge? What must the Israelite army do before attacking a distant city? During a siege, what specific type of vegetation was protected from being cut down? What was the punishment for a malicious witness who gave false testimony? What architectural feature must be added to a newly built house to prevent blood guilt? What was the penalty for kidnapping a fellow Israelite and treating them as a slave or selling them? According to inheritance laws, what portion of the estate does the firstborn son receive? What is the custom where a man must marry his deceased brother's childless widow? Which nation were the Israelites commanded to blot out the name of from under heaven? Upon crossing the Jordan River, what were the Israelites instructed to write the words of the law on? Which mountain was designated as the mountain where the blessings would be pronounced? Which mountain was designated as the place where the curses would be pronounced? In his final appeal, what two ultimate choices did Moses say he set before the Israelites? Where did Moses command the Levites to place the book of the law? What specific creative format did God command Moses to use to teach the Israelites a warning message? Which tribe received no territorial inheritance because the Lord was their inheritance? What must an Israelite do if they find their neighbors straying ox or sheep? What were the Israelites required to make on the four corners of the cloak they wore? To whom was an Israelite legally permitted to charge interest on a loan? What was the absolute maximum number of lashes a guilty person could receive under the law? What animal is specifically mentioned as not to be muzzled while it is treading out the grain? Who actually buried Moses after his death? According to Deuteronomy 18, what kind of figure did God promise to raise up for the people like Moses? Which annual festival required the Israelites to live in temporary shelters for 7 days? In Moses' final blessing on the tribes, which tribe is described as a lion's cub springing out of Bashan? What must the king of Israel write for himself on a scroll? If a man takes a new wife, how long is he exempt from military duty?